Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, hey, my name is Mako, welcome to the family. Since so many of you guys were interested in recreating famous paintings, I decided to paint the Great Wave with you guys. Give this video a thumbs up if you want to see more videos like that, and comment down below what other famous artists or paintings or art styles you want me to recreate. And for now, let's get started. The first thing we want to do is adding some washi tape all around the paper to create a frame. This is optional, but I really like how the end result looks when there is a little white frame around the painting. And since so many of you guys asked me how to get the proportions right when it comes to painting something from a reference, I will show you a little hack you can use that will help you. So here I printed out the image in the same size I want it to paint, but it doesn't have to be the same size. You can just use the following steps and adjust it to the size of your painting later. And then what I did, I folded the paper in half and then folded it again like so. And then just folded it again, but this time horizontally, to create 4 equally divided sections that are separated with a fold in the middle. To see those lines better, you can use a pen and just draw over these lines. And now we have this grid that will guide us. And of course you can divide the sections even more depending on how complicated the image is. And now we just need to transfer these guidelines onto the paper. Since we divided the reference picture into 4 equal sections, we just need to divide the page into 4 equally spaced out sections as well. And this is why it doesn't matter how big your reference picture is. Just divide everything into the same sections. I think using this grid technique is not only great for getting the proportions right when you paint something using a reference, but it also helps you to learn about the composition of the painting. This way it might be more visible to you what is in focus, where everything was placed and why, and it will help you to develop an understanding for your own compositions when you paint your own artwork. With the help of the grid, you can now focus on one box at a time and see from which area the line starts and ends, and then transfer it onto your paper. Don't focus on the details yet, just get the general shapes down onto the paper and then we can work from here. If you still get confused where to draw what, you can simply add more guidelines to the reference picture and to your paper. As you can see, we have a big wave that covers almost half of the space while creating a circle around the center. And even though it looks like another wave, this huge wave also frames the mountain Fuji that you can see in the background in the lower right corner, making the wave look even more monstrous. Don't forget to draw the 3 boats with people inside that you can see in the lower half of the painting. And once you finish drawing the general shapes of the waves, boats, and the mountain, you can go back and start drawing the crest of the waves and a few more shapes in the water. If you look at the reference picture, you will see that they kind of look like scary claws that are about to grab these poor people in the boats and push them down into the ocean. You don't have to copy every single small wave, just focus on the general shapes and add them to areas where they are more prominent in the picture. I must say you need to have a lot of patience drawing all these small claws, so mine didn't turn out exactly as on the reference picture, but I think when you see the painting you can still get the idea what is going on. And if you didn't know yet, this painting wasn't actually painted, it is actually a wood block print. The artist designed the artwork and then let the block carver and the printer do the rest. And I really like the idea of collaboration and seeing the final end result and how beautiful it is. Okay, now once we have all the outlines ready, we can move on and start painting. I will be using watercolors, but you can use anything else you like to use. For this painting, we only need a few colors. Let's start with the waves first. Use a light blue color and color the wave just below the top area. From here, we will intensify the colors once the first layer has dried. Add this shade of blue to all the areas that have this color. So all the lower parts of the waves, the people in the boats, and then let everything dry. Now take a darker shade of blue and start adding lines following the movement of the waves. As you can see, the wave moves in a circular motion, so that's why you want to add the darker lines following this shape. Don't forget to look at your reference picture to see how thick the lines should be. But again, it doesn't have to look exactly the same. Don't forget to outline the crest of the wave so they don't get lost while you color everything. Add more and more lines to the areas where you can see that they are darker, but don't stress too much. We can adjust everything later. I usually overlook areas whenever I paint, just like I did here, but that's okay. Now we need to mix a really light blue color for these claws and the waves. Here I mixed a little bit of blue and green and diluted everything with lots of water. And then you can just dab it onto the areas where you see the artist added the shade of color. So you have the crest of the waves and also on the smaller waves on the sides. Here you can add them between the white and the blue colored area. And when the paint has dried, you can color the boats with a light brown yellow color. And you can also use the same color for the top area of the sky. Just distribute it with lots of water and make it blend into the middle part of the sky. The area next to the mountain was also a little darker, so here I used a little bit of black colored paint and blended it out to the white area using lots of water again. Once we're done with painting, we can now remove the tape and check for areas we still need to fix. For example, I overlooked some areas that had to be more blue or completely forgot to color something. And if you want, you can also use a black fine liner and go over the lines again to make them stand out more. Because when you look at the reference painting, you can see that all these shapes have darker outlines. They are rather dark blue, the same as the dark blue water, so if you have a thin brush or a really dark blue fine liner, you can use that instead. In the end, I also used some watercolor paint and some water and added a few splashes to the waves. I think this makes a huge difference to the end result, and it makes the waves look a lot more realistic. The final result doesn't look exactly like the original painting, but I think you can still see this painting is supposed to be the famous Great Wave, and this is the whole point. Don't stress too much making it look exactly the way the artist painted something. Just try to figure out what is really dominant in his or her art style, what makes the painting really stand out, colors, shapes, the way the paint was applied to the paper or canvas. And while you do that, you automatically learn new approaches to creating art because you'll learn different techniques, compositions, ideas, and how to create art in general. There's so many different ways, and it's nice to try out different techniques and then come up with your personal style and way to create art. And this is the final result. Even though it doesn't look exactly the same as the reference picture, I still like it and it was fun to paint. I really hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe if you're new here to see more arts and crafts related videos in the future. Here you can check out on all my latest videos and catch up on that. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a wonderful day and I will see you soon. Bye!